In my other video, I show how to determine your best chain line by measuring your hub, your cassette, etc. Bottom line is, with the non-boost, the ideal 48 to 50 millimeters is just fine, and with a boost, 51 to 53. If you can get it there, you're good to go. I also found out that if you're short of those numbers, that's better than being long. I should be able to go backwards with this pedal in the lowest gear, the largest ring, and it should stay on. Actually, I already know the answer. Oh, it came off a little bit ago. There it goes. Go back here, goes back up to the highest gear, lowest gear that is. Look at the gap there. And I can't go any further out because of the fact that this is only about two-thirds of the way in on the outer pedal. Okay, this is a factory setup of a SRAM boost rear hub with a through axle. I'm going to go backwards in the highest gear, and look, it just comes off. And I know it's set up so this is really not a good test to see if the chainring is in the proper position. The Hollowtech low-budget crank sets have some really nice features. Primarily, they're lighter than the square taper, and they come with a sealed bearing housing. They're supposed to be universal for both 68 and 73 millimeter bottom brackets. That's not the case. Both cranksets come with a 122 millimeter exposed spindle. That spindle will barely work with a 68 millimeter if you use more than one spacer. Certainly not three spacers. I was able to get one to work on a 73 millimeter crank. When that 122 millimeter spindle is used on a 73 millimeter crank, it's 5 millimeters short of letting the left crank arm fully seat around the spindle. In either case, you better make sure that left crank arm is fully seated. Pinch bolts are properly torqued. The aluminum end cap has at least 11 millimeters of thread and is securely fastened. Here are two examples of end cap bolts or end caps, whatever you want to call them. One's plastic, one's aluminum. The plastic one comes with the Hollowtech kit, and it's used to draw in the left crank arm. I use the aluminum end cap bolt, the one with 11 millimeters of thread. After I torque down the pinch bolts on the left crank arm, I put flexible adhesive on the threads so it won't come off. It's insurance just in case everything else goes wrong. If I was to come up with an equivalent situation, it would be like having a drive shaft on your car that barely fits into the transmission. One good bump on the road and your drive shaft is dragging on the ground.